Here comes everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Tuesday topic. We're still waiting for a few more folks to join us. We will be with you momentarily. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday. While we're waiting for everyone to get started, thank you for coming to join our community conversation on white fragility today. A few more folks coming in. We're just a quick advance plug for our next Tuesday topic, which is on Tuesday, July 7 from 4 to 5. It'll be a workshop 2 in being anti-racist, maintaining characteristics and anecdotes of remaining characteristics and anecdotes of white supremacist culture, which is brought to us by our friends Lidivez Sawyer and Lindsay Edwards from the Stephen and Sandra Scheller 11th Street Family Health Services. Still got some more folks coming in. All right. While we're waiting, Shell and Emily, you want to maybe take a second to introduce yourselves and sort of try to get us oriented a bit as people are coming in?
Sure. Hello. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation with us. My name is Shell Myers. I use they, them pronouns, and I am a board member of the College of Nursing and Health Professions Board of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And I'm a candidate for a master's in family therapy, graduating in 2022. And I'm here with Emily. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, echoing Shell, thank you all so much for being here today. My name is Emily Delany. I use she, her pronouns. I am the Student Services Manager of Health Professions Programs under the newly organized Student Services Division in the College of Nursing and Health Professions. I'm also a member of the CNHP Board of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So we're really excited that you all took the time to be here today, and we kind of can't wait to get started. So thank you all for being here.
Yeah, Darren, do you think it would be good to start now, or?
Yeah, I think we've got 30 folks that are here in the room, and I think we can go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. It's so nice to see you all for this important conversation.
So yeah, we're talking today about the concept of white fragility. In the event invite, we asked you to read the book, White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, or there's an article that was also shared. It's also okay if you didn't read those things, and we're just happy you're here. I was interested in starting this conversation with Emily after the recent murder of George Floyd and the recent uprisings in combating police brutality, and was interested in having a conversation with white people, including myself and my family members, about how we are upholding white supremacy and what we can do to combat racism in our communities. And so I thought this might be a good way to start that conversation, is just going over the idea of white fragility and practicing talking about white supremacy and racism with people in order to continue having those conversations and being open to listening to experiences of racism and white supremacy in our communities, in our workplaces, and in our relationships. So, yes.
All right, so Shell and I have crafted some community guidelines we wanted to just kind of kick off everything with these guidelines that we can all continue to practice and kind of adhere to throughout the conversation today. So they are on your screen, but we'll just go over them briefly. So the first one is practice active listening. So there's going to be a plethora of speakers throughout today. This is a community conversation, and we're definitely thrilled and excited to hear a lot of different voices at the table today. So just we're asking that everyone hears each speaker through their thought. Let's try not to, although it's kind of inevitable that we may talk over each other and kind of get a bit on top of each other in trying to share our thoughts. It is okay, just try to give everyone the respect and space and active listening, and help everybody finish their thought before we jump to the next thought. The next one we wanted to practice is speaking from the I perspective. So making sure that you're speaking from a personal experience and your own perspective, and try not to generalize or speak for a large group of people or speak for anyone really outside of yourself. So just continue to use the I perspective. Next, we have confidentiality. So by being a participant in this conversation today, you are agreeing to keep the thoughts shared in the boundaries of this conversation, knowing that this is a safe space to share, and we will be respectful of thoughts that are shared here and hoping to keep them in the room in the boundaries of this conversation. And then finally, just to acknowledge that this is a lifelong learning process. This is a process that we'll all continue to engage in. I think if you're here today, you're committed to doing that, which is wonderful. And this is a conversation that will continue after today. And it is okay to acknowledge and understand that we may not have all the answers, as this is really a continual process, but we will commit to continue to learn and be lifelong learners in this process of dismantling racism.
One thing to notice about confidentiality is this is being recorded. So that's just an FYI that this will be recorded. This will be shared with other people to look at in the future. And so I just have this definition of white fragility to remind people, or for people who haven't read. White fragility is a state in which even a minimum amount of racial stress becomes intolerable, triggering a range of defensive moves. These moves include the outward displays of emotions such as anger, fear, and guilt, and behaviors such as argumentation, silence, and leaving the stress-inducing situation. These behaviors in turn function to reinstate white racial equilibrium. So I don't know, I think it's important that we get comfortable with being uncomfortable talking about racism and talking about white supremacy. And I think that in many ways, there are defensive techniques that I have used personally and other white people I know have used in order to avoid talking about racism and white supremacy, and to avoid being able to hold oneself accountable or myself accountable for the ways that I may be enacting racism or helping to uphold white supremacy in my relationships or in my work or other areas of the world. So I hope we can have conversations about that. And some of the guiding questions for this conversation, Emily, do you want to go over them?
Yes, definitely. So we really want the conversation to be free-flowing and everyone be able to share ideas and anything they read from the text or the article. But we figured that it would be good to put together a few guiding community questions just so that this could also like maybe start the light bulbs, just thinking a little further about the reading you've done or your experience in the state of the world right now. So what we've come up with together was there new information in DiAngelo's White Fragility that had an impact on you or that challenged you? Have you practiced or experienced white fragility yourself? What questions do you still have after doing the reading? So if something particularly sparked a question, you want to share it with other members of the community, see if they had the same question or maybe if they have some insight about it. That's where we are coming from with that. And then finally, what is something that you think you can bring back to your community? And this can be from the community conversation today. It can also be from the text or the article, or just something that, you know, someone said that you thought, I'm really going to keep this with me, and something that you'll practice outside of this conversation. So these are guiding questions. In no means do we need to stick to the questions or kind of check them off and answer them in a particular order. But we just thought we wanted to have these available if anybody felt as if something spoke to them from this pool of questions. So I think at this point, Darren, are we going to go into breakout rooms?
Yeah, I was gonna, is there a question? Any questions before we go into the breakout rooms? No? Great. I do need one person to volunteer to be sort of moderator for the third room. Can I have a volunteer? Roberta Perry, you want to be a volunteer? Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. All right.
So we're going to be breaking out into these rooms for about 30 minutes, and we're going to have a conversation with a smaller group of people because there's a lot of you, which is awesome. And then after those 30 minutes are over, we're going to bring back whatever we talked about to the collective group of us and kind of come up with ideas all together. So I will go into breakout room 2 and see breakout room 2 people there.
All right. See breakout room 1 in a second.
Hmm. Are you guys assigned a room? There we go. Roberta?
I jumped out of the room. Can you throw me back in?
Sure. I'm gonna move
Sorry
you
about
to,
that.
that's all right. Whoops. I don't know how to push you back in.
You said it was number 3.
Yeah, it says, from what I see, you're still in 3.
All right, let me see if oh wait, okay, here we go. All right, let me try it.
All right. This is very stressful. Hi, Patrice. Can you hear me? Hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
How are you? So everybody's off in a breakout room. I'm going to randomly put you into one of the breakout rooms we just started the conversation.
Got it. Thank you. Sorry I'm late.
No, no worries. I'll send you, let's see. I don't know who's in which room, so I'm just going to randomly assign you one.
Thank you.
Patrice, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I'm not sure
Okay.
why you're not in any of the breakout rooms. Do you have an option to join a room? Maybe a pop-up message showed up?
No. No pop-up message. I'm a little late.
That's okay. So I'm not sure. Let's see here. I'm going to try to see if I can move you into a different room and see if what are you on your screen? What are your,
Oh, it says join break.
yeah, so join one of the rooms and that'll bring you into the room that you're assigned to. Oh. There we go.